Start again. Okay. So yeah, today's target is to create a basic Node.js app. This app will uh, work as a backend. We'll use Express for creating APIs, and we'll use Mongoose for creating, database models and try to do CRUD operations on that. Let's see how much we can cover in the given time we have. And yeah, let's get started. So I have opened this Node hands-on folder in VS Code, and the same folder is open in the terminal, and there's nothing in that folder. The first step will be to, okay, I think this much zoom should be enough. Yeah, so whenever you are starting a new project of Node, you get inside the folder where you want to start, and you do npm in it. So this will basically set up your Node.js project. So it will ask you a bunch of options if you want to change some names and stuff. So I want to name this as CRUD demo. Then version will be 1.0.0. Node Express Mongoose demo to create a basic CRUD backend. Entry point will be index.js. Sure, test command, we don't have any test. Git repo, we don't have any git repo. Keywords, just to Node.js Express. No. And it will show you the package.json file, which is auto-generated, and you can see name, version, description, what is the main file which will first execute, and then everything else will be managed. The keywords which we entered, author, and the license. And automatically the package.json file is now here. Okay. After this, what we'll do is we'll create a new file, index.js, and we'll add a start script here. Start, say, node index.js. So whenever you do npm run start, I'll just add something here, console.log and then .js started. I run this, it will run the index.js. npm run start actually runs this start script, and this start script is running index.js with node, like node and index.js, and when it executes, it's printing index.js started. So that is how the flow is. Now let's set up a git repo or not. Okay, as a standard practice, but sure. Do a git init, and it will, initiate a git repository. The moment I set up git in the source control, I can see the changes, like index.js, the new file, package.json, the new file. So I'll just say initial commit, and command enter will commit it, but we cannot push it because we don't have a remote repo created. So let's do that also quickly. GitHub. Let me node CRUD demo. Description optional. I want it public. I want it to be empty, and let's say create repository. Okay. Now, once the repository is created, as we initiated the git in our local first, so we'll have to choose the second option. If you start with GitHub, if you create a repo first and then start coding in your local, you'll go with this way. You'll simply do git commit, git add, and all these things, and you'll do this git. Basically, these are different git commands which you have to um, use in order to configure the repo. So the main thing is, when we did this git init, it created a local repository, but the repo is local. It doesn't have a remote git configured. So what we'll do, git remote add, will use this command. So this will basically connect the GitHub repo with our local repo. So when I enter this, now I can push this. The master has no upstream, we will publish, yes. And we'll create a master branch, and the index.js and package.json file will be pushed to the Git repo. If you want to see what commands are running, you can just go to output and Git, and you'll see all the Git commands, which the VS Code is automatically executing. And now if you refresh here, you'll see index.js and package.json are here. So, among these things. Okay, so now we have configured Git and npm. So let's do some coding. Okay. So first step is to install some packages which we need. So we'll do npm I express, then body parser. We'll just do express and mongoose first. I want to show you what happens when you do npm I. Okay, so you can see dependency is the new key which is added here, and it is basically indicating that this application is dependent on Express and Mongoose with these versions. Okay, and a new folder called node modules underscore modules is here, and there are a bunch of folders here. Basically, so node modules, basically whenever you do the installations, all the binaries, all the base files for, in this case, Express and Mongoose, are basically here. They're downloaded here from the npm repository, which you can find here. So npmjs.com. From this website, we pull everything. This is the Express.js which we just downloaded in our local. And this also, npm.js is the first starting point for you to find the documentation, find if you are facing any problems, to find the solutions for those problems. You can find the websites and the git repos for the packages you're downloading. So from these websites, you can just go to documentation and learn everything that you need to use those repos. Then say npm init express, how to install it. Then this is the documentation of Express.js. Basically, you can say this is the basic code of how to use Express to start an application on port number 3000 and create a basic API. So these documentations are really helpful to learn something new or try anything. And this is the Git repository of Express.js. So all the repos which are on npm.js are open source, so you can just go into the code and understand how they work and everything. Okay, back to this. And one more thing, a really important thing, that you do not push node modules folder and package log.json to your Git repo. So you can just right click on it and there should be an option. If you go to this, the source control, just right click on this, the package.json, and say add to git ignore. So this will basically create a new file called git ignore, and it will add the package log.json to that file. So git ignore, git uses git ignore file dot git ignore file to decide which folders and files it will ignore, like it won't show in the changes. So we'll have to add node modules here. Stars. Yeah, now it won't show all the files and everything, the changes in node modules folder. Just say added git ignore and install packages. Push, oops, not one, push. And it will push these changes. And this is how you should work. Like, do small chunks of things and push those things with a good commit, so that like the moment you face some problem, any error, you can just go back to the actual, like the working version of your code and start from there. And I will never tell you guys to remember how to create a server using Express, or just by heart something in the coding thing, because everything related to packages and coding, all those things are available online. I want you guys to learn the skill to read the documentation, understand how to do a particular thing, how to work on a particular thing, and from that actually create your own projects. I won't tell you to by heart these things or remember all these things. So I simply copy pasted how to create a basic Express app. So they're saying this hello world example, and now I'll one by one I'll explain what every line does. So using require, we are basically importing the Express JS package here. Express is a class. So simply using Express and like calling the function of Express, we get an application. So this is an actual Express app. Then we are assigning a port to it. So Express app has, just click on this command click, or in your case can be control click. You'll directly get into, or I'll show you another way. Just right click on this and say go to definition, and it will take you inside the Express.js code, the code which you imported using npm I. And here you can see what kind of different functions and like functions it supports, the facilities they have provided. It's a little bit hard to understand first, but the way you keep on working on it, at some point automatically you'll get the understanding of what this code like represents, or how you can use this code to improve your coding style. Okay. So the app has functions like get, then post, then put. Simply if you do app dot, and you'll see there's use, get, then apply, bind, caller, checkout. All these functions are available. And whenever you hover on some function, it shows the signature of that function. So from that signature, you can get how to use that particular function. So there's app.listen. So it has port as a first argument, then host name, backlog, callback function, and it actually has 5 different overloads. So that means there are 5 different signatures. If you know the object oriented style, that overloads means one function with the same name, but it has 5 different signatures. So in that way, it has 5 different signatures here. And then app.listen. So if you just hover, it will show you port and callback. This is the first overload they have used. So we'll just run this and see how it works. We'll just do npm run start. Yeah, due to internet, my voice must be breaking. I'm not sure how to. If you guys miss anything, just unmute yourself and ask me again. I'll clear it out. Okay, so yeah, so app.get basically created a get request. Okay, I'll repeat. So app.get basically created a get API on slash path, and like for API, the first argument is usually the path at which you want to create the API. Then the subsequent arguments are middlewares. So in Node.js, what happens is whenever one request reaches the server, it passes through different middlewares. So it's like a block of code, or like a different checkpost, and every checkpost can modify the request and response objects. So every request has a request object and a response object, and all these different middlewares can do small processing over it. So if you want to take an example that you want to make an API call where you're uploading a file from your front end to your back end, and you want like 3 different tasks to happen. First task is you want to save that file to a particular location. Second task is to you want to add a database entry for that file, and third task is you want to process that file and send a response to user. So you can write 3 different functions for these 3 operations, and your API call will pass through first function. Then if everything works right, then second, and after then third. The third function will actually return the response to user. So handling one request through 3 different layers. So all these layers are called middlewares. So this particular function is a middleware, and like it's like anonymous middleware. There's no name to it, but the like whenever a get request is called, it will first go inside this, and directly we are doing response.send, so it will directly send the output. So meeting is gonna end in 10 minutes, so I'll be sending another link once this is done on all the channels. And yeah, now if you can see, it is saying that it is running on localhost 3000. In the console you can see running on localhost 3000. So how to call this? There are multiple ways to test your APIs. You can literally call it through your browser, and you can say hello world, but you can only call get requests from your browser. If there are post requests that cannot work from browser, so the best way is to install an API client like Postman. So it helps you make API calls of any kind. It's free to use, and good product. So simply open Postman. So there are multiple collections. I'll just create a new collection. I'll call this Node CRUD demo. Say add a request. I'll put in the address as a send, and I'm getting the output hello world. Okay, I think we are good till now. Get request. Okay, so we have installed Mongoose as well. So let's do the post request just to show you. This is post request. So what we want to do here is JSON. Yeah, for post request to work, we need to install body parser. what is the body parser? Let's check it out. So the description says Node.js body parsing middleware. So it's a middleware which parses the body. So body is nothing but like whenever you're making a post request, in the request there is a, it's like a request is again a object. Like when the request reaches the Node.js Express backend, that request converts into an object, and that object has a body parameter. So with that body parameter, you can pass some data from your front end to your back end, and like that is really important, feature. With that, you can pass data, and basically it can be used to do different operations with your like basically you can pass information which can be used to do operations on the back end. So we configured it like this. Um, Body parser will be imported body parser, and then using app.use, we configured the body parser middleware like this, that the data which will which the backend will receive will be in the format of JSON, and it is a middleware. So first, whenever a request will come, it will go through the body parser middleware JSON, and then the get and post, all these requests will handle it according to whatever request is coming. There was another one. Yeah, I think I used this one also. So these two are used. Yeah, let's run this again, and we'll just do a console.log request.body. Let's see, what are we receiving in body. And then start, and we'll create a post request here. Add request, post, let's say localhost 3000. And in this section, we can add body. We'll say raw, and from here, text will create JSON. So it's a JSON type of raw body. We'll say name, Utkarsh, company, Tech Hut. Save it. We'll send this request. You can see the body is name Utkarsh company Tech Hut. So this middleware body parser converted this string into a JSON formatted object. Okay. What else? So we want to send this, and let's say if we want to send a response, like we want to send the body back itself, or what we can do is, let's say let user is equal to request.body, and we'll say user of what we can do. Yeah, date visited is equal to new date, and response.json. So response.json basically is used to return a response which is of type JSON. So when I call this, I'll get this response. So I just added date visited as the current date. So every time I send this, we'll get the latest date. So this is how to create basic APIs. This is get, post. There are other types as well, like put and delete. But like depending on the use they are created. Like get is usually used when you want to get some data from the backend, Post is used when you want to create some data on the backend side. It's like you're sending data from front end, and backend will use that data to create something on the backend and save it. And that's post call. Put call is to update some data on the backend side, and delete, as the name suggests, to delete some data on the backend. Okay. Now we'll focus on, there are multiple calls happening. I'm not sure why. Okay, I did multiple calls. Okay, only 1 minute left. So I'll just stop sharing and